Great. Hi, everybody. I welcome you all to the launch of the first product on our new platform, InCred Money. At the outset, I would like to thank you for taking the time out to attend this event on a Saturday morning. Today's webinar is on investing in senior secured bonds issued by Keertana Finserv. The agenda of this webinar is to give you a full idea of the product that's being offered and to enable you to make the right investment call. To introduce myself, my name is Vijay Kupa and I'm the CEO of InCred Money. And with me co-hosting this webinar is Ashish Oswal, who heads sales at InCred Money. My team and I are very excited to present our first product and this webinar to all of you. And we also have a very special guest with us today on the panel. And it is my privilege to introduce Mrs. Padmaja Reddy, the founder and promoter of Keertana Finserv, who has joined us today as a special guest for this event. She will be participating in our Q&A session scheduled at the end of this webinar and will help in addressing any query that you might have on the product. The format for today's webinar is, first, I will begin by this introduction and by telling you all a little more about InCred Money and about who we are and what we're trying to build here. This will be followed by my colleague Ashish spending the next part of the session on the investment that's being offered and to help you solve any of those questions. Finally, we will have a Q&A session which will be jointly answered by the team at InCred Money, represented by Ashish and me, and the team at Keertana, represented by Ms. Padmaja. Participants are requested to keep asking their questions on chat throughout this webinar. We will take all of them up at the end of our presentation when we have our Q&A session. So you can keep putting in your questions and we would collate them and take them all up at the end. So I hope the format is clear. So let me start with what is InCred Money. Very simply, InCred Money is a curated, individual investor-focused alternate investment platform that aims to help you boost your portfolio returns in a hassle-free manner. Now you may have a question, what are alternate assets? Alternate assets are assets that are not part of traditional financial assets, such as fixed deposits, equity shares, equity and debt mutual funds, nor are they part of traditional physical assets such as real estate and physical gold. Some examples of alternate assets are corporate bonds, market-linked debentures, private equity, fractional real estate, and so on. Till recently, only ultra HNIs and large institutions had access to investing in these assets. But the rise of technology has made these instruments accessible to all investors due to smaller ticket sizes and more consumer-friendly offerings. Alternate assets can be an essential part of your investments as they help in boosting returns, protect against inflation, and diversify your overall wealth portfolio. InCred Money was set up to solve for the two main challenges that a lot of individual investors face while trying to invest in these alternate assets. First is access. Questions are, where can I invest? How do I invest? And these are some of the problems that we personally faced. There is a problem of large ticket sizes that makes it out of reach of most individual investors. The second is on trust. Whom can I trust? As an investor, whom can I develop comfort with? There is a lot of jargon used in the market, often used to complicate things. While the returns may look attractive for some of these products, I am unable to decide if it's right for me, and so on. We realize that there is a huge scope for a platform that solves these issues, and building InCred Money to solve these problems and offering it to all of you is something that excites us tremendously. InCred Money is a part of the InCred Group, a new age, diversified financial services conglomerate, and was launched with the acquisition of Orowealth, one of the leading retail-focused digital investment platforms that managed an AUM of more than 1,100 crores. And some of you in attendance today may have been associated with Orowealth for a while now. Under the InCred fold, InCred Money has significant competitive advantages with access to a deep network of issuers and suppliers and industry-leading credit and risk assessment capabilities. The Keertana Finserv issue, which we are bringing forth in front of you today, is an excellent example of this synergy. In addition to our fintech capabilities that we have imbibed from Orowealth, InCred Money will also have the added advantage of the support of a large financial services organization such as the InCred Group. This will greatly help us in our journey of making alternate assets easy, trustworthy, and lucrative for all of you. This maiden product offering under our InCred Money brand is the first step towards enabling all of you to diversify into the alternate space, and will be followed by many more such interesting opportunities for you to generate potential alpha. Every product at InCred Money is thoroughly curated and vetted by our in-house team of credit and research analysts. We take extensive risk mitigation steps while selecting which product to bring before you, and some of the things we do are: 1, excellent due diligence and very solid research. Strong legal documentation and paperwork for every asset. We typically will bring you secured assets or assets with collateral. And we also structure favorable cash flows such as favorable coupon or principal repayment terms to ensure you get timely liquidity. At InCred Money, our team of financial experts work hard on all of these above risk mitigation factors to give you the peace of mind you deserve when you invest in such assets. And so we cannot be more excited as we showcase our first investment product in front of you today. With this, I would like to bring in Ashish, who will now take this webinar ahead. Ashish, over to you.
Yeah, well, hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar. Yeah. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in for the webinar. Yeah. So as Vijay has already summarized with respect to what InCred Money is, so I'll just give a brief before we move forward. So InCred Money has been launched with the acquisition of Oro Wealth. Yeah. Why InCred Money? So we have a single platform for alternate assets backed by a complete strong parentage group in the form of InCred, expert curation of products in terms of investments, a complete secure and user-friendly platform, and education about the risk of each product. This one. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Moving on to the team. We have Mr. Vijay Kupa, who is the CEO of InCred Money with 14 years of experience and previously worked with Larsen and Toubro. We have Mr. Saurabh Jaleria, who is the head of SME and education lending with expertise in credit risk assessment and previously worked with Deutsche Bank. We have our own team, a very strong team with respect to the individuals, each heading their respective domains. So our new product offering is corporate bonds. So what are corporate bonds? Yeah. So corporate bonds is a mechanism wherein investors lend money to the borrowers. The borrowers in our case is corporates. Now, what do the corporates do is they utilize the funds in order to for their various business purposes. Now, the various business purposes may include expansion of business or even for forward lending in terms of NBFC as well. We'll take more time on this slide, wherein we have done a comparative analysis with respect to the different type of debt products which are available. So we have the high yield corporate bond, we have the debt mutual funds, and we have the fixed deposits. Yeah, the different parameters that we have is returns, risk, cost, and tax. Yeah. So with respect to the returns on the high yield bonds, it is in the range of 10 to 12%. For debt mutual funds, it is 7 to 9%. For fixed deposit, it is 6 to 7%. Now, the returns should always be seen in context of the risk being taken. So now moving forward towards the risk, we have the credit risk. So in terms of credit risk, with respect to high yield bonds, it is on the higher side, but it can be mitigated through strong covenants and the security cover that can be provided by the respective company. Now, with respect to the debt mutual funds, the credit risk is inherently low due to the entire diversification aspect coming in, wherein the fund manager can spread its money across different commercial papers. We have the fixed deposit as well, wherein it is low but again, it depends on the bank. So an FD made of up to 5 lakhs is insured by DICGC. But in case if the bank fails, the investor may find it difficult to retrieve the money which is beyond the 5 lakhs. Now, in terms of predictability of returns, when we are looking at high yield bonds and fixed deposit, the predictability of cash flow is much, much higher compared to a debt mutual funds wherein it is variable. Coming to liquidity aspect, considering the Indian bond market is not so deep and illiquid, hence it can become difficult for the investor to sell on the exchanges, and it is completely based on the buyer availability. Now, in order to mitigate this risk, we will always suggest the investor to match his investing horizon with the investment duration of the bond. Now, with respect to the debt mutual funds, the liquidity aspect is very high because the funds will be available next day itself. But the only aspect that we have to consider is the fund manager has to invest into the liquid assets also, which will lead to lower yields in future. Then we have the next with respect to the fixed deposit, wherein we have mentioned the liquidity as low, considering the aspect that you will get instant liquidity, but the cost will be on a much higher side in this case. Yeah. Next, moving on to the cost. With respect to the cost, with respect to debt mutual funds, the cost is a bit on the higher side, especially when we are considering the credit risk fund, wherein the expense ratio might be in the range of 0.7 to 0.9% also. While for high yield bonds and fixed deposit, there will be no cost involved in this. The last aspect is with respect to the taxation. Now, with the new regulations coming in place and no indexation benefit for debt mutual funds, the high yield bonds, debt mutual funds, and the fixed deposit are at parity with respect to the taxation. But one point to be considered is with respect to the short-term capital gains, with respect to the listed bonds, which are less than 1 year, it will be taxed as per marginal tax rate. Whereas for a long-term capital gains, which is more than 1 year, it will be taxed at 10%. So we'll move forward with the initial screening criteria. So we'll like to provide details about the factors that we consider before even shortlisting a bond for further analysis. So the first factor that we consider is the bond type, in wherein we have the senior secured, senior unsecured, subordinate, and the hybrid bonds. Okay. Now this is with respect to the seniority of repayment. For our investors, we curate only senior secured bond because they are backed by assets, and they will always have a first priority in case of the company undergoing liquidation. Moving on, we have the next is credit rating. Well, credit rating is provided by credit rating agencies like CRISIL, ICRA, CARE. Yeah. So we have the investment grade and the non-investment grade. Now, for our investors, again, we curate only bonds which are worthy of investment grade. So we have the entire range wherein we have AAA to BBB minus, which are investment grade, whereas BB to D is considered as non-investment grade. But for our investors, the bonds will always be on the investment grade side, as seen in the screen. Now, coming with our corporate bond offering, well, our new corporate bond offering is with Keertana Finserv. So we'll provide more details in the next slides. So starting off with the promoter, Miss Padmaja Reddy, she owns almost 98.5% of Keertana. She has founded Spandana Spurti, which was established in 1998, and today it's listed on the exchanges with a valuation of almost 4,800 CR. During her time at Spandana Spurti, she has gained extensive experience in terms of retail lending in rural and microfinance space. And it was under her leadership that Spandana was listed in August 2019 on the exchanges. She still owns 14.5% in Spandana, which is valued today at approx 700 CR. Moving on next to the Keertana Finserv journey. Keertana Finserv was established in March 2022 with the acquisition of Rajshri Tracom. Then during the initial days itself, the promoters had infused almost 150 CR, which showed tremendous strength of the promoters itself in terms of infusion of capital. In April, they acquired the gold loan and the MSME portfolio from the Spandana subsidiaries, which is SMBT and SRUDO. During the entire course, now from April until now, they have onboarded almost 29 lenders. And in terms of lenders, when we say there are quite a marquee banks like Kotak Mahindra Bank, Yes Bank, IndusInd Bank, or even IDFC First Bank, which have been onboarded. And in terms of NBFCs, it is almost like Aditya Birla Capital or a Cholamandalam that have been onboarded, which in itself shows the confidence that these lenders also have in the promoter. They have received a CRISIL credit rating of BBB, which is an excellent achievement considering the companies in the first year of its operations. And they've already achieved a goal of 600 CR as of in terms of loan book as of March 2023, thereby showing an exponential growth wherein the AUM was at 200 CR in April 2022, and it is today at 600 CR in March 2023. So why Keertana Finserv? As already explained with respect to the founder, Keertana Finserv is a rural-focused financial institution, wherein almost 84% of the loan book is towards rural and 16% towards urban. And with an excellent product mix of gold loans, joint liability group, and MSME, and loan against property. Yeah, they have a robust balance sheet with the strong capital adequacy. They already have a credit rating of BBB. Excellent team with decades of domain expertise, especially in the gold loan side and the microfinance side. And one of the fastest growing NBFCs, which we've already seen, wherein the AUM has already moved from 200 to 600 CR, and it is growing as of today. Coming to the business metrics, this is as of March 2023. The AUM was 609 CR. While the average yield and the net interest margin was at 25.6 and 15.6 respectively. Well, net interest margin, just for layman terms, it's the difference between the lending cost and the borrowing cost. In terms of debt to equity, we sit at a comfortable 2.9 times. In terms of NBFC, RBI has regulated for up to 6 to 7, beyond which the NBFCs cannot cross the threshold. So this in itself shows the amount of promoter money also involved in terms of equity and the debt which is taken, which is sitting today at comfortable 2.9. And then we have obviously the capital adequacy ratio, which is sitting at 26%. In terms of net worth, it was at 175 CR. The NPAs are almost negligible, almost at 0.04%, the gross NPA. The profit which was earned in the last financial year was at 21 CR. In terms of average ticket size and the average tenure, it stands at around 70,000 per loan, and 6 to 12 months is the range that we are looking at. In terms of return on asset and return on equity, it is approximate at 6% and 17% respectively on this. In terms of product mix, as of May 2023 ending, we have a gold loan book of approx 58%. The joint liability group is at almost 27%. And the MSME book is running at around 10%, with loan against property at 5.1%. Now, with the gold loan book, which is obviously the collateral being taken as gold, the chances of NPA in itself reduces. The reason being that in case of any non-performing asset, the gold asset can always be liquidated, which is highly liquid in the market. Coming to the strength and the risk, well, in terms of strength, as we have already discussed in terms of the extensive industry experience with respect to the promoters and the ability to infuse the capital. Second is with respect to the secured loans, almost 62% of the loan book is secured with either gold loans or the hard collateral. It has been profitable since day one, which is almost since inception. Again, with marquee lenders being onboarded with Kotak Bank, IndusInd Bank, IDFC First Bank, and Cholamandalam also included. And it is pretty much well capitalized. Now, in terms of risk, when we see, it's an unseasoned book, wherein it is in the nascent stage of operations. But considering the NPA level also, that in itself shows the strong underwriting practices that is followed at the organization. We have a concentrated portfolio wherein the geographical presence is mainly in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, but the company is focusing towards Tamil Nadu and Karnataka also as the next states to be covered on. About the issue, when we see what we have on offer at InCred Money, It's a 12.5% XIRR with a maturity of 20 months. We have a monthly interest and a quarterly principal repayment as well. It's a CRISIL BBB and a completely senior secured bond. So we have ensured that we receive only on a senior secured bond, and it will be listed on BSE. With all the investment details provided, the last question which will always come, or the first question on investors' mind, is the risk. How is my money protected? So we have taken several risk mitigation measures here, wherein the company has to maintain a minimum rating of BBB during its the loan tenure or during the issue tenure. There will be monthly interest payments and quarterly principal repayment. With quarterly principal repayment, it shows the ability of the promoter also to pay back, and it leads to de-risk also for the investor. There is a security cover of 1.1 times of the gold loan pools in this case. So completely backed by gold loan pool itself, which gives a lot of comfort, because tomorrow in case of any NPA, the gold loan can always be sold, or it can be always replaced with the respective gold loan pool. The debt to equity ratio should not exceed 4 times during this entire issue tenure. And there is a personal guarantee of Ms. Padmaja, the promoter itself. And lastly, the firm should be profitable before tax during this entire tenure. Yeah. So just to summarize, with respect to why Keertana, first of all, do consider the strong management and with the ability to infuse the capital. Second is in terms of the security cover and the risk mitigation strategies that we have put up in place. Third is with respect to the adequate capitalization also, with respect to the promoter who can infuse capital at any point of time. Yeah. So these are the different factors that you should consider at any point of time with respect to the investment. Yeah. Thank you for this.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ashish.
Vijay, you're on mute. Yeah.
No, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you, Ashish, for this informative presentation. I hope all of you got a good flavor of the product that we're offering. Please feel free to ask your questions on the chat, and we will take them up one by one and all of them. So great. So Padmaja, thank you for your time with us today. So I wanted to start off with a couple of questions. The first is, you've been growing quite fast over the last year. Can you give us a sense of your growth plans going forward, and what would be the likely product mix at the end of next year?
We are growing very slow, not really growing faster. As you know, like we have 3 verticals. One is gold, one is MSME, and the third one is microfinance. So the first year was spent in terms of building systems, processes, internal controls, and a world-class IT. So I think if you come and see, like in our office, we have real-time dashboards. Till the last second, I think like many bankers commented saying that like we have not seen this like in India anywhere. So including collection efficiency, one cannot hide. So till the last second, how many loans have demand? What is the recovery? How many loans are yet to be recovered? What is the collection efficiency cumulatively? So this gets updated from LYS and LMS. So one doesn't have to generate, like this is linked, and if a customer walks into the branch, like here, there is a loan disbursement, the balance sheet gets updated, the portfolio gets updated at the overall level and at the branch level. As such, like the focus was more in terms of building systems, processes, and controls in the first year. I'm sure like this year, we will start focusing on growth. As we are already at 770 crore. So while it was 610 crore AUM by March, in the last 2 months, like we have grown to 770 crore. By March, the plan is to build a portfolio of 1500 crore. So that is FY24. And by FY25, we are looking at growing the portfolio to 3,000 crore. So I think like since the base is very small, we are looking at like 100% growth like these 2 years. And after that, I think like we will settle at 50% growth. So post FY25, I think in the first quarter, So we want this company to be listed, equity listed.
Okay, that's great, ma'am. Next question I have is that can you give us a sense of the underwriting process of the gold loan? And how do you manage to mitigate the different risks, business risks that you have, the operation risk and other risks?
The gold loan, yes, like I have experience in Spandana in terms of doing gold loan business. The first gold loan branch was started in 2008, but somehow like it was not, we did not scale up. We could not scale up, in fact, there. But whereas like I consider like this is the first experience in terms of doing gold loan business like at a scale. So the difference between banks and gold loan companies in terms of doing appraisal is, so we attract like low income population, like who walk into our clients. So in bank, like if somebody goes to a State Bank of India or Union Bank, like any public sector bank, so they don't have in-house appraiser who is sitting in the branch. They have to call someone like who can do the appraisal. But whereas like in gold loan companies, so we have in-house, like all the staff who are sitting in the branch, they are trained in terms of doing gold loan appraisal. So there is no rocket science. You and I, like we can learn in half an hour. Of course, like with the experience, like we will be able to even assess the gold in terms of its purity by seeing the gold without conducting nitric acid test, salt water test, and sound test. But generally in the branches, as I said that like all of them, the branch-based staff, everybody is trained for 1 week. It's an intensive training. So when the customer walks into the branch, they do a client appraisal. They check whether like the client has the ability in terms of possessing the gold that he has brought into the branch. For example, if a customer comes with 50 grams of gold, when asked like, what are you doing? If he says that he's an auto driver, so we need to think twice, like whether he is the real owner of the gold or not. Well, like we have to make sure that the gold that is brought into the branch is not a stolen gold. So that is something like we need to confirm that the gold that is brought for pledge is the person is the real owner of the gold. And then like once we have the confirmation, yes, like he is earning a decent income, the gold that is brought in by him belongs to him only, he has that ability to own that kind of gold, then we do the gold appraisal. So each branch like will have the nitric acid, like there is a salt water available. So when we do the nitric acid test, if it is the real gold, so the color doesn't change. If it is any other metal, the color will immediately change. So through nitric acid test and salt water test, the ornaments are appraised, and basis which like of course like we also check the weight of the ornaments, we also check the purity of the ornaments, and on the basis of weight, on the basis of purity, and again then we will ask the customer what is his expectation in terms of loan amount, and on the basis of loan amount and also on the basis of tenor, so the product is decided and the loan amount is determined. And all this is done like in 5 to 10 minutes. In case of existing customers, we end up giving loan in 5 minutes. In case of new customers, max like it will take 10 minutes, because most of the gold loans are taken for emergency purpose. Somebody like who meets an accident, and if they have to meet the medical expense, they will go to a gold loan branch and they need money in less than 10 minutes. So that is how like the gold appraisal is done.
Okay, great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this. Now questions have started coming in from our users, so I will just pick them up one by one. So I think the first question, ma'am, from a user is, for normal banks, the NIM is around 4%. How is it 15% plus for Keertana today?
Banks, I think the NIM is overall, as I said that like we have 3 verticals. One is gold loan, one is MSME, and the third one is microfinance. Overall, last year, we got a 25.6% yield, and then our cost of fund was 10%. So while like we borrowed at 13%, 14%, since we had a 26% to 30% capital adequacy, On the portfolio, it was 10%. So 25.6 minus 10%, it was 15%. So I think we have to compare Keertana's NIM with other NBFCs. So there are like a number of NBFCs like who have NIM in double digit. Banks, because like their risk profile is very different from NBFCs. So NBFCs like always have double digit, but however, like we are an outlier in terms of having 15% NIM.
Got it. Okay. The next question is for ma'am. Spandana Spurti was already founded by you. Why a new NBFC, Keertana?
Spandana Spurti was founded by me. Yes, like I was with Spandana Spurti for almost like 2 decades. And as it was mentioned, like it got listed, it has grown to a scale, and it was a microfinance company. So I always wanted to have this urge because I always believed that a company, an NBFC should not be monoline. Because if we look at like banks versus NBFCs, so banks like they are more sustainable when compared with NBFCs. But like there are certain NBFCs who have proven to be very sustainable. For example, in microfinance, we have built the industry. The industry was built from 10,000 crore to today 3,60,000 crore. But unfortunately, till last year, there was no NBFC like with an AUM of more than 20,000 crore in India, where we have 130 crore population. Because like as we were doing only microfinance, and the regulator, if you become an NBFC MFI, you are not allowed to diversify your portfolio beyond microfinance. But as a microfinance company, I think like I often faced like this question by investors. Madam, like, do you have any microfinance company that has like 20% growth on revenue, on profit, and like in terms of AUM for a period of 10 years? So my answer was always no, because like we had many issues that we faced. We had many credit cycles. And look at Bajaj, like today Bajaj is like 3 lakh crore. But again, like there is no kind of Bajaj, like even 1/4 of Bajaj, which is a microfinance institution. So I always wanted to diversify from a monoline to multi-product NBFC. But again, because of regulatory restrictions, I could not have like non-microfinance in the portfolio. The risk management experts, including CRISIL, ICRA, everybody, they were always suggesting in terms of diversify geographically. But again, we have witnessed many cycles. During demonetization, the entire country was impacted. During Corona, across the globe, like there was an impact. So how does geographical diversification will be a solution? But it is more like the segment-wise diversification, product-wise diversification, which can really mitigate the risk. So in Spandana, I could not do that. This is like, I consider this is a opportunity given to me by the God in terms of having an NBFC with multi-product, by which I want to diversify the risk and grow this as a sustainable organization.
Got it. Okay, so the next question is a little more for InCred Money. So InCred NBFC itself has a lot of secured bonds. Why is InCred Money starting its first offering with Keertana NBFC? Yes, that's right. InCred NBFC, InCred Finance also has NCDs that we could have offered to our users, but we wanted to start the first one. And in fact, it tells you how highly we rate Keertana and how much confidence we have that we have chosen it as our first product launch. So that itself could give you a sense. Yes, of course, we will come out with our own bond issuances soon, but we also want to give you the best variety in terms of the products, and that's where we chose Keertana. Next question is, I think this, Ashish, you can take this. What are the risks that you could face in the investment? And follow-on question, can you touch upon the worst case scenario, which as a probable investor, I should be aware of?
Yes. With respect to the risk, obviously, different kind of risk which come into picture. We have the liquidity risk, wherein we will suggest the investors to match the investment duration of the bond with their investment holding. Second is with respect to the risk associated with the organization also. So we have a lot of financial covenants in place, as seen in the risk mitigation strategy also, wherein we have set up the entire guardrails, wherein there should be a minimum debt to equity of 4x, again security cover of 1.1x. The credit rating should not fall below triple B. So these are the kind of measures that we have taken in place in order to ensure that the investment is safe. Now, consider the worst case scenario. Suppose any particular entity also, it is applicable for any entity for that matter. If they go bankrupt or it undergoes a liquidation, then in that case, the company will be admitted to an IBC, wherein a resolution professional is appointed. All the creditors come together and they try to revive the organization. In case they are unsuccessful with that, then they'll have to liquidate all the assets. And since we are senior secured bondholders, we'll always have the first priority in terms of retrieval of the money of whatever amount comes back. But that is the worst case scenario. We don't expect that to happen because this is a kind of issue wherein it is like the kind of the risk mitigation strategies that we have taken here. We are trying to assure that all the safety measures are in place for the investor, and the investor also gets the best returns on this. Yeah.
Thanks, Ashish. The next question is, can you give us a sense of taxation of the product and also on the TDS aspect?
Yeah. So with respect to taxation, whatever interest income you will be earning, it will be taxed as per income tax slab. In case of any short-term capital gain, say like if you purchase the bond at 1 lakh, and if the bond price goes to 1 lakh 1,000 and you are able to liquidate in the market, then that will be a gain of another 1,000. So if it is a short-term, when I say short-term, anything which is less than 1 year, then you will be taxed as per marginal tax rate. But if it is a long-term investment, wherein long-term capital gains, if your investment is held for more than 1 year, then the taxation will be at 10%. In terms of TDS aspect, yes, there will be 10% TDS deducted on whatever coupon you are receiving.
Okay. Connected kind of question to the risk one. Are the deposits or this bond secured by RBI or SEBI?
With respect to in terms of security, no. I mean, we don't have a particular thing like a fixed deposit, like a 5 lakhs guarantee. We are not having that provision. But again, with respect to the risk, which I've mentioned, all the risk mitigation strategies are in place to ensure that your money is safe on this front.
Okay. Ma'am, a question that is coming up from users is that, what are your geographical expansion plans? Do you have any branches in Mumbai?
We don't have branches in Mumbai. So we are already present in 5 states: AP, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Pondicherry. Soon we are going to expand to Orissa. That will be the 6th state. So while like we have presence in 6 states at this point in time, most of the operations are in Andhra Pradesh. So we wanted our operations to be in a proximity so that like we can rationalize the cost and we can control the cost. But however, understanding that geographical diversification is very important. This year, like we want to focus on Telangana and also Orissa and bring down like the AP exposure to less than 70% this year.
Okay. Ashish, question for you. Is it possible to break the investment before 20 months?
Okay. As I mentioned with respect to liquidity, considering the bond market in India is not so deep and illiquid, it can be difficult for the investors to liquidate their holdings. And the only way it is possible is to sell on the exchanges, which will be based on buyers' availability at any point of time. So again, and even if you plan to sell, you may not get a fair market value with respect to your holdings. So we will always suggest that try to keep your investment horizon as per the investment duration of the bond.
Okay. There is a question. There are 2 connected questions. How different is this from 12% club? And where is this money invested? Is this also going via liquid loan? So the answer is that this is a secured corporate bond where there are cash flows in the terms of coupon or interest payment and then principal payment with some frequency. What you're referring to are the other two products are more P2P loans from a P2P NBFC. This is a normal NBFC and a normal NCD bond. The next question is from a user, can we submit form 15G or H for TDS exemption? Ashish, you can take this.
Yeah, for now, we don't have the feature available, but that is one of the features that we will consider. Yeah, but for now, we don't have that facility.
Okay. If the credit rating degrades to BB, what will happen? And can you give a sense of how will investors be protected?
Yes, very good question, actually, and a very relevant question. So if a credit rating degrades to BB, so it is like a breach of covenant, which we have in place. Now, in this case, we have the debenture trustee, which is constantly monitoring the entire assets that have been hypothecated or even kept as security. So the debenture trustee will be representing the investor. We'll be having a cure period also, wherein we'll negotiate with Keertana or the respective company also, in terms of the entire credit rating downgrade. And in case if that also does not work out, then we'll be requesting the respective company for the funds back based on the promoter's ability. Yeah. So again, as I mentioned, there is a personal guarantee also of Ms. Padmaja ma'am. And yeah, in terms of the confidence of the promoter, they have always been pushing in money into the company also since the day one. But yeah, this is the worst case scenario. It leads to, for just to summarize, it's a breach of covenant. And then the debenture trustee will take over the process and we'll try to negotiate with Keertana. And if it does not work out, yeah, then we can always request for the funds back. And as InCred Money also will be assisting, because it will be direct, because it's something which is being invested through our platform. So we'll also assist through via the debenture trustee. Yeah.
Can you explain when you said security cover is gold loan? Can you elaborate a little bit on it?
Yes. So when we are saying security cover is gold loan, take for today's example, if so with whatever investments so our issue size is like 15 CR, right? And the investments are going into Keertana. So we are investing into Keertana, which is being used for forward lending in terms of gold loans. So what we have done is, in terms of backing of the security cover, it is backed by gold loans only. Now, tomorrow, suppose there is a scenario wherein we'll be assigned a security pool in terms of gold loans. Now, tomorrow, suppose there is a scenario, take the worst case that tomorrow there will be a 30% drop in the gold prices also. So, Keertana will again try to add up on the security just to ensure that the security is again maintained at 1.1x. At any point of time, even if there is an NPA, suppose within that gold loan pool, if one of the clients defaults on their payment, so Keertana will take another good performing loan and will replace it with that respective loan. Again, the gold loan, whatever will be there will be only gold loan. Now, again, what we have to see is in terms of gold loans, it is all backed by hard assets, which is gold in this case. So tomorrow, even worst case, if there is an NPA or a client defaults also, Keertana can just go and sell off the gold in the market, which is and gold being highly liquid, you can get the best price for it.
Okay. Now some operational questions. I think I can take them. When will the window for investment open and will remain open for how long? What is the minimum investment amount? So immediately after, on the conclusion of this webinar, the platform will be open for investment, so you can start. How long it will be open depends on how long the issue lasts, and we are seeing good demand. So I would suggest that if you're interested, then you should do it quickly. What is the minimum investment amount? You need to buy minimum 1 unit, which is around 1 lakh rupees. So that is the starting price for the bond. The next question is that what will be the repayment period or duration when InCred recovers money from Keertana? I presume that this is when the whole debenture trustee scenario happens. Ashish, can you take this?
Yeah, so basically, if you are looking at a debenture trustee, it can anywhere take, like if the respective company is admitted to IBC also, it can anywhere take between 6 to 12 months also. Because everyone will be trying, the entire creditor committee will be trying to get the best possible solution, and everyone agreeing to the respective solution on that. Yeah.
Okay. Padmaja, question for you.
Yeah.
Are there early closures in gold loans? What impact does early closure have on the business?
Yes, gold loans, like the churn is very high, and the longest loan tenor in gold loans is 1 year. But however, like the customer has option in terms of taking 3 months loan, 4 months loan, 6 months loan, and 1 year. And the pre-closures are quite high. So almost like 50 to 60% of the loans they get pre-closed. So what happens is, like at the household level, the customer, like by whatsoever the means, like they get money, they have liquidity. So the first priority for them is to repay the gold loan and get back the ornaments. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, so the churn is very high. 60% of the loans get pre-closed, but however, there is no pre-closure penalty that we charge to the customers. And again, like whatever the money that comes in, so we end up like using that for new loans. So at this point in time, every month, the collections are about 110 crore, but whereas like the disbursements are about 160 crore. So we immediately deploy like the pre-closure amount in terms of lending to new customers.
Got it. Ma'am, one more question for you. Nowadays, in all banks, we are getting gold loan for 9 to 10%. Why customer comes to Keertana for higher interest rate?
The only reason is like the public sector banks and including private sector banks. So they entertain like HNIs. So yes, it is true that like they lend at 8% and 9%. But again, if you look at like if you see at the average loan size in case of Keertana, it is like 50,000, 60,000. 50,000, 60,000 means like they bring less than 15 grams of gold. So while opening branches, we always prefer opening branches near a public sector bank branch. If there is a SBI bank branch, they become the feeder point in terms of customers to our branch. So when they see like this low income customers whose loan requirement is less than 5 lakhs, they don't entertain those customers. So they don't give them immediately. Instead, like they will ask them to go to the nearest gold loan company. So and again, in order to get a gold loan from a bank, they need to have the account. And again, even if it is 20,000 rupees loan, so it will go to their bank account. At times, like these customers, like they have problem in terms of withdrawing. And again, like if it is after banking hours, if they don't have a debit card, they cannot withdraw the money. Money is getting credited to the bank account. So there are like so many operational issues. And in the first place, like banks do not entertain customers like whose loan requirement is less than 5 lakhs. And these gold loans are required like an emergency purpose in 5 minutes and 10 minutes. It's only the gold loan companies who can serve the purpose, and definitely not the banks.
Got it. Next question is that our campaign says first 5,000 subscribers only. Why? So we are, the base offer issue is at 12% for all users, and we're giving an additional 0.5%, which is a launch offer for the first 5,000 users. We think that the issue will be finished by then, and that's why we have said this. But now is a good time to come in and subscribe and get 12.5%. The next question is, what will happen after 20 months? So 20 months is the maturity of the bond. The bond is fully paid back in that maturity period, and yeah, there is no more obligation on the company. At that time, a new bond or new issue could always be evaluated. Any more questions, please ask. Ma'am, one question that I had with respect to this is that you've had so much experience in the MFI space there. Do you have any plans to expand on that even in Keertana?
Yeah, we already have microfinance vertical in the current portfolio. And right now we have a little over 200 crore portfolio already built under microfinance vertical. So AP Telangana, like there was a 2010 crisis, post which like all MFIs in AP, they have withdrawn. So it throws like a tremendous opportunity in these two states. There is so much of white space, and we want to make use of this opportunity which is available in these two states. Recently, like there is a High Court judgment which says that RBI regulated entities are free to do microfinance in these two states. And like together, like these two states, like they have more than 10 crore population. The GDP is very high, per capita income is very high, and we want to make best use of this opportunity.
Got it. I have a question on NPA. The NPA currently is low. Will you be able to maintain such levels going forward when the business grows? And do you have any projections for NPA?
We are 100% sure in terms of maintaining the best portfolio quality, which was always proven like in my previous stint with Spandana as well. So at this point in time, like it is 0.04, except like 12 loans that we have received in April, like from Srudo, all the loans that we have disbursed from April. So we have 100% on-time collection efficiency. I'm sure like we will strive hard to maintain like the same level of collection efficiency. But however, to be on a safer side, last year like we made 0.25% standard provision on the portfolio. But this year like we are increasing that to 1%. So even after making 1% provision on the standard portfolio, I think the expected ROA for the current year is 7%. And while we are looking at leveraging the portfolio by 4 times, the expected ROE this year is 28%.
Got it. Few operational questions have now come in. For the investment, is it channelized through Wealth app or any other app to be downloaded? So no, this is a new site that's been launched, especially for these investments, alternate and bond investments. It's called InCred Money. So you can go to incredmoney.com and you can make the investment. We will soon be integrating that portal within the Oro app. So you don't need to download any other app for now. InCred Money will also have its own app, so you can download that as well. Question is that I am an InCred employee, but on the portal, it does not say a link for employees. No, so there has already been a communication that's sent to all InCred group employees that you can onboard yourself. Either you use your company ID and you will get the offer, or you can go through the InCred employee onboarding link and you will get it. You just need to invest, else you can contact our customer care and we'll be happy to help you out about it. A question is, it is showing 11.65% per annum. So 11.65% is the coupon that is being given as part of the issue. The additional returns up to 12.5 will be in the form of a discount to the bond at which you can purchase. So overall, you will get a YTM or a yield to maturity of 12.5%. Next question is, ma'am, I think this is for you. A recession is being predicted in the economy. What kind of impact does it have? So I think that if GDP falls for some reason due to macroeconomic factors or higher interest rates or any reason, do you see any impact on the business, and how do you protect yourself against it?
We have seen like interest rates a big time increasing in the last 1 year with the repo rate increasing. And so like we have safely transferred that increase like to our customers. So while we used to get like 22% yield like about a year ago, but in the last 2-3 quarters, like the yield that we have got was 26%. And we have not seen, like as a country, we have not seen the impact. The credit growth has been quite high. And again, the portfolio quality across financial services has proven to be the best at this point in time. So I think like a recession, like it is a global factor. So I think our country is very well insulated. And again, like as we deal with the low income segment, so their economy, like it's basically the agriculture. And fortunately, like we have monsoons very early this year. The secondary source of income is dairy. So dairy is doing extremely well. So as long as agriculture, dairy, and related activities, like what I have seen, like in these 2 states, AP, Telangana, where we are operating, housing, like because it's a central government and state government sponsored activity. So lakhs of houses are being built. And again, like the informal segment, who happen to be masons, painters, plumbers, so they're all getting employment. So the EP government has given 40 lakh house sites to women at free of cost. And now like they're all building the houses because in a year, like they have to construct at least up to roof level. This has created humongous employment opportunity for masons, painters, plumbers, and again, like the brick making units, the cement dealers. So for everyone, I think this recession is not going to impact like the segment that we are dealing with. In fact, like this is all giving rise to so much of credit growth. And I think like in the next 3 years, this is going to be the best period for financial services.
Got it. Next question, I think Ashish, you can take it. Major sectors where the loan is lended. So can you give a sense of the asset breakup?
Yeah, so in terms of major sectors, we have as of end of May 2023, the gold loan book was at approx 58%, followed by the joint liability group, wherein the loans are given to a group of people, 4 to 10 people, and who take the entire responsibility for paying back. So that book is at around 27%, followed by MSME, which is at 10%, and followed by the loan against property at 5%. So it is 58, 27, 10, and 5.
Okay, thank you, Ashish. Some questions, operational questions now. Can I have a nominee to the investment? Second, can I apply directly with my DMAT, or do I need to open a new DMAT? Is the return 12.5% market linked? And can I do SIP investment? So let me take them. So yeah, so right now on the platform, you get 12.5%. This is a debt instrument. So it is not market linked. There are other kinds of risk like a credit risk or a liquidity risk, but it does not move as per the equity market. There is no connection in this particular product. Yes, it is a one-time investment. There are only lump sum investments available. We don't have as yet the provision of SIP or interval deposit. You can apply through your own DMAT. You don't have to open a new DMAT. So if you only condition is you should have a DMAT already with you, and the bonds will get credited directly into that DMAT account. Yeah, it is a secondary sale, but I think that doesn't make much of a difference for the investor. Link to apply, you can apply on InCredMoney.com. Directly, you can go over there and you can start. I think the investment will open shortly at the end of this investment. Next question is, if the principal is also paid back regularly, will the monthly interest payments reduce due to this? Yes, that's right. Your interest payments will be linked to the outstanding principal at that point of time. On the InCred Money site, we have given a table of the cash flows, so you can check it out and see how the whole investment and cash flow structure is being placed over there. Ashish, can you take what is the procedure of investment? Can you explain it in a little detail for a new investor starting from this webinar?
Yes. So in terms of investment, what we will suggest is to visit www.incredmoney.com. You can log in through your email or mobile. Once you have logged in into the website, you will have to complete your KYC, wherein you will be asked for your PAN card details, your Aadhaar card details, even your DMAT account number. If you have DigiLocker, that will be the best way in order to complete your KYC as well. But just for the basics, you will need your PAN card, bank account details, and your DMAT account number details. Once you have completed your KYC, our ops team will complete your KYC approval. And once the KYC approval is completed, you will receive an intimation from our side and you will be good to go in terms of your investment. Wherein you can just go. So you can just go to the Keertana bond issue, click on invest now and enter the number of units, which will take you through a process wherein at last you will find different payment modes, which includes UPI, net banking or NEFT, RTGS. Now, whichever suits best to you, you can complete the payment. Once the payment is completed, the bonds will be credited to your respective DMAT account in around T+3 working days.
Okay, yeah, there is a question. How long will it take? It will be within 3 working days. The next question is from a user. What is the percentage of personal guarantee compared to the size? The issue is fully guaranteed by the promoter. The last date for payment, it is until the offer lasts. So you would be best to do it as soon as convenient for you. We are seeing decent demand, so I expect that it will get sold out soon. Yeah, is there any more questions? I think we have come to the end. Maybe we'll just wait for 5 minutes to see if there is anybody else asking any questions. Ma'am, from our side then, one more question regarding the whole, the organization structure. Could you tell us what is the size of the company, how many employees, and what are the, some business roles that you have created based on your experience of the market, and how you have, how are the whole branch operations set up, and how does the whole, customer interfacing happen? Can you give us a sense of that?
Sure. At this point in time, we have a little over 250 operating branches. So since like all these three verticals are very different from each other, so in a way, like it's a different ball game altogether. What you do in gold loan is very different from MSME, and what you do in MSME is very different from microfinance. So except in a few places where we share the premises, like there is a gold loan branch plus there is an MSME branch, but otherwise, like the teams are very, very different. So in a gold loan branch, like you take a call on the basis of gold. When it comes to MSME, you take a call on the basis of the cash flows. When it comes to microfinance, like you take a call on the composition of the group and also the group guarantee. So as such, like the teams are very different and they're exclusive to that particular product. At this point in time, we have little over 1,300 employees. All three verticals are headed by three vice presidents. So each one of them, like they have 15 years of experience of working with me and also working in Spandana. So they have proven their ability in terms of building scale. And at the branch level, we have a branch manager. Each branch, like it's a physical branch, the branch will have 1,000 square feet, and there is a branch manager. So there are like 4 or 5 loan officers. And when it comes to gold, like the typical gold loan sector, so there is no credit function. But after having seen like in the initial 3-4 months, when the branch manager himself is doing the sales and he is responsible for the growth, I felt that like there is a conflict of interest. And I have introduced a credit function in gold loan branches for the first time. So now like all our branches, 142 branches, there is a credit manager, there is a credit assistant, and then like there is a sales team. So these credit team, like they don't have any sales target. Their only responsibility is to appraise the gold and give loan to the eligible customers.
Okay, thank you for that, ma'am. So we are come to the last set of questions. Please ask. We also have Ms. Padmaja Reddy from Keertana. This is your last opportunity. Some operational questions. Can we invest in tranches? Example, 1 lakh today and maybe 2 lakh tomorrow till the offer is on. Yes, you can. You can invest in minimum 1 unit and multiples of 1. Is it mandatory to pay from the same bank account in which I will receive returns? Yes, that's right. It is mandatory for you to do that. Is there an app or only via the online link? Yeah, you can invest via the online link. Our app will be launching shortly, and then you can check your investments in your portfolio and all future issues you can subscribe over there. Other than Keertana, with whom all is InCred connected is a question that a user has asked. So today, we are launching our offer with Keertana Finserv, and over time, we are in the diligence process with a lot more NBFCs and corporates whose issues that we will bring onto the platform. So you will see a lot more names soon on with us. Yeah, can we get the term sheet where the promoter guarantee was mentioned? Yeah, you can check the information memorandum and prospectus that we have put up on the platform, and you will get all the details over there. I guess, yes, I think we have answered most of the questions. So just to summarize, one, from an operational point of view, okay, so there is a question. Till now, any auctions happened for defaulters? I think, ma'am, can you help us with this?
Yes. Auctions happen every month. So basically, like when the customer takes a loan, like the loan tenor, like the loan period is agreed. So for example, somebody has taken 3 months loan, and after 3 months, like the loan is not repaid. And even the customer has not paid monthly interest. So on the 91st day, auction notice is given to the customer. Of course, before giving the auction notice, there are phone follow-ups like that are being done. So if the customer is responding saying that he has some difficulty and he will definitely repay like the loan in the next 2 months, in such a time, like we will ask the customer to pay the entire interest so that like the loan can be repledged. He will get another 2 months opportunity. For any reason, if the customer is not responding, I think like after giving him 2 auction notices, within 15 days, like the gold is auctioned. And when the gold is auctioned, so we get more than like the principal that is receivable, interest that is receivable, and other charges receivable from the borrower. So that amount will be returned to the customer. So far, like 5 crore worth of gold has been auctioned. And in this, like we got 15 lakh like excess, which is more than the principal and interest receivable, and that has been refunded to the customer. So in gold loans, like we have 133% of security, because the maximum LTV that we give is 75%. And for that, like we have 100 rupees worth of gold. So even in a scenario where the gold price has fallen substantially, let us say that like in the last 60 years, it was only in 2013-14, the gold price corrected by 5%. But otherwise, in the last 6 months, the gold price, in fact, has big time increased. So whoever is having gold, like they became richer by 15% in the last 6 months. So in any auction, like there is absolutely no possibility in terms of like losing money. Rather, we get more money, and that is always returned to the customer.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So thank you all for being here. Just to summarize, this is
and just to add one small input, Ashish, like so as I mentioned that like we started our first gold loan branch in Spandana in 2008, and it was there like this portfolio was there till 2021, over a period of 14 years. So there was never a case of that we have ever written off even 1 rupee from gold loan portfolio. So the credit losses were absolutely zero for 14 years. And there were like so many credit cycles that we have seen, while microfinance portfolio got a big time impacted, but gold loan portfolio was intact. So there was AP crisis, there was demonetization, and there was Corona, but we did not lose even 1 rupee over a period of 14 years.
Wow, that's very impressive, ma'am. So thank you. So let me quickly summarize. I think this is a great issue that we have brought up in front of you today. Quickly summarizing, very strong promoter backing the company, and it's a well-capitalized entity, very good business growth, and very strong operational metrics. In fact, even the issue from a covenant standpoint or a documentation standpoint, or from a senior secured perspective, or even from a 1.1x cover that we have. So you're all well protected, and the risk is mitigated. I think it's a great thing. I hope you all have had a nice perspective of the issue, and you all can make the right decision whether to invest in this issue. From an operational point of view, please visit InCredMoney.com and you can start your investments. The platform will be open for you right away. Our next issue will come once we have sold this. We will then bring the next one up. So I look forward to all of you on the platform, and happy investing. Thank you so much, Padmaja ma'am, for taking the time out today and for enlightening us with your business and the vision. I'm sure it was very useful for all our investors, and we are all excited to participate in this bond issue of Keertana Finserv.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, everybody. And I look
Thank
forward
you,
to
ma'am. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.